This morning, Palworld dropped a new update exclusively for the Xbox version of the game, which brings some significant fixes with it in an attempt to address the biggest issues that Xbox players are having on the game right now. Game crashes and problems with save game data are two of the most complained about things on Palworld Xbox right now, and today we're going to have a quick look at just what the devs are doing about this. Hey everybody, my name's Ben and welcome back to another Beard Guys Palworld video. If you want to stay up to date with all of the latest Palworld updates and patches, as well as tips and guides, then go and check out some of my other recent videos and drop a like and sub if you enjoy them. So update 0.1.5.2 just went out, and this is an update specifically just for the Xbox platform. The issues this looks to address are related to game crashing and also save game data problems with being able to save on Xbox. If you've not noticed these problems yourself on Xbox, then like me, you're probably an Xbox Series X player. On the Series X, for me, it plays pretty well. I have very few crashes. I don't really have performance issues, I've not had problems with save game data, and I'm not saying that those problems don't exist on the Series X, but they're certainly a lot less common. For Series S and even older old-gen Xbox One players, though, there are a lot more issues. If you look at the comments on any of my recent Palworld videos, particularly my update ones, this is one of my videos from just a couple of days ago talking about the previous updates, and whilst the game felt very stable for me on Xbox Series X, there's loads of comments from players reporting issues with crashing and saving, issues with crashing in dungeons with lots of upvotes, game stability issues on Xbox crashing, someone on next gen saying they have world save problems and crashing, problems with dungeons crashing, Palworld Xbox save issues, save game issues. So there's certainly tons and tons of players out there that are having problems with save game data and crashing on Xbox. The patch notes for 1.5.2 for Xbox are pretty short and sweet. They just simply say fixed an issue where save data larger than 16 megabytes would not save correctly, and fixed a multiplayer related bug which caused the game to crash. So quite a vague thing related to crashing there. It's hard to know how widespread that particular issue was. Certainly crashing in dungeons seems to be the most reported crashing issue that I've heard. So it'd be really interesting to hear in the comments down below, if you've played the game after this patch, whether you've seen a decrease in the number of crashes, and particularly whether you're still seeing crashes in dungeons, as this is what most players are coming across. Also, if you do drop a comment, make sure you let me know what Xbox particularly you're playing on, whether you're on Series S, Series X, or just an old Xbox One. The save data issue is also something that's been quite widely reported, so hopefully that will now be resolved. And again, let me know if you have any more problems with save game data after this update. Personally, I played for about an hour this morning on the new patch on my Series X. I went and ran 4 or 5 dungeons and went around a bit on one of my worlds. I didn't have any issues, I didn't have any crashes, I didn't have any performance issues or save issues, but that said, I wasn't really having those anyway on the Series X even before this patch. If there's a particular cave that you think might cause issues for me on the Series X, then do let me know and I can add that in when I'm testing out these crash patches. So hopefully a positive update from Palworld here. Even if it hasn't fixed all of the crashes and all of the save bugs, then it's certainly something that's going to address some issues in the game. And once again, it's great to see these frequent updates coming out for Palworld. We had major updates released last week that added in all sorts of features and all sorts of fixes, both for PC and Xbox, including giving us the ability to rename our pals on Xbox. If you missed that one, go and check out my previous video. It goes over all of the details of those patch notes. There are also big fixes in those patches to breeding, to pals work priority, and a ton of fixes for how pals work around the bases. I've certainly found that bases are a lot less chaotic and a lot less glitchy with the recent changes that we've had. Hopefully we'll see Palworld devs continue to focus on crash related and save related issues on Xbox, and it's particularly nice to see specific patches coming out that are just for Xbox to address those issues, rather than just getting hand-me-downs from PC or having to wait till the next big patch they're doing for PC and then some Xbox updates are kind of thrown into it as well. It's really reassuring to see the Xbox version of the game actually be focused on as an individual entity by the devs. I'd be interested to know from all of you watching who are playing on Xbox what you think the biggest priorities should be right now from Palworld, particularly for the Xbox version of the game and just for the game in general. Obviously, performance issues, crashing, and save data are very important. Personally, I would really like to see us get dedicated servers for Xbox, but certainly performance issues need to come first. But I think the game will have a whole new lease of life once you can get a dedicated server on console and you can rent a server or host a server that you and your friends can play on without having to have one of you always online to host the save, because it's always hard to try and keep at the same level. Well, the person who hosts it might go on and play and not everyone's online, and it just gets a bit disjointed, and there's a lot more fun when you have a dedicated server. Obviously, we'd all like to see lots of new content and map features and map changes and pals, but I think the devs are taking the correct focus so far, looking at performance and stability as a priority, as well as balancing changes and fixes for stuff like pal movement and prioritization in bases. The other big issue on Xbox, of course, that we all still see is problems with world rendering, and this is an issue also on the Series X. It's not restricted just to the older Xboxes. On the Series X, if I go to Dune Shelter, the floor doesn't load in. You have to sort of teleport out and back in order to load the floor in properly and be able to talk to the merchants. And again, you see that same issue in quite a lot of the isolated areas of the world, in some of the hot areas and the cold areas, the volcano, the mountainous areas. If you go to those areas, a lot of the time, the textures on the floor won't load in properly, or they'll take ages to load in. So there's certainly a lot of room for improvement in terms of the map quality, the map loading, and map performance issues on the Xbox version of the game. That said, it's still been a lot of fun, and as I've said a bunch of times, I'm very reassured by the approach the devs are taking. We are still in early access. Remember, we haven't hit 1.0 yet. I don't know when that's going to come, but they're certainly hitting it hard and getting a lot of stuff fixed already. And compared to what we see with a lot of other games these days, and even AAA games that we've paid through the teeth for, I think we're getting a lot more frequent and better value updates for Palworld than we have for a lot of very big games recently. So that's everything for today. I hope you found that video useful and interesting. If you did, then drop a like. That does help us out a lot. And sub to the channel. And like I said, I've got a bunch of other Palworld tips and guide videos already on YouTube, and I'll be doing new videos every time there is a new update for Palworld. So if you want to catch up with those, make sure you sub and let me know your thoughts on the latest update and also just the direction of Palworld updates so far in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching. My name's Ben, we are the Beard Guys, and I'll see you next time.